Okay, so this is how to convert fractions to decimals. Um, um, in this video, so the last video, all of your denominators had a power of 10. It was either 10, 100, or 1000. And it was very easy to convert those because all you had to do was, if it was a 10, you knew it went one place behind the decimal. If you had 100 in the denominator, you know you had to have two numbers behind the decimal. And if it was 1000, you know you needed to have three numbers behind the decimal. Okay, 10 being the tenths place, tenths with the TH, 100 being the hundredths place, and 1000 being the thousandths place, the third place behind the decimal. Okay, here with these type of fractions, it's not that easy to convert into a decimal. So what you have to do is divide. So we would take 1/5. And remember, I told you now we're in middle school, we read this as 1 divided by 5. If this is 1 divided by 5, this right here is always going to be our dividend. The dividend always goes into the inside of the division bar. And this here is going to be our divisor. This is always going to be the number we're dividing by. It will always go on the outside of the division bar. So let's draw our division bar. Dividend always go on the inside. Divisor always goes on the outside. So the question is, how many times can 5 go into 1? It cannot go into 1. So we must add a decimal and a 0. We will usually add 2 zeros, but we're going to add 1 for right now. So then how many times does 5 go? Oh, I'm sorry. We move this decimal straight up. And then we say, and we divide like normal, ignoring the decimal. 5 goes into 10 2 times. 2 times 5 is 10. Subtract, we get 0. So 1/5 is equal to 2 tenths. 0.2, 2 tenths. We can do the same thing for 5/8 over here. This number is our dividend. This number is our divisor. Dividend always goes on the inside. Divisor always goes on the outside. Or we could say numerator and denominator. Numerator always goes on the inside. Denominator always goes on the outside. We know that 8 can't go into 5. So we're going to add a decimal and a 0. We're going to bring the decimal straight up. 8 goes into 50 6 times. 6 times 8 is 48. We subtract. 10 minus 8 is 2. We know when we're dividing decimals, we cannot have a remainder. So we add a 0 and bring it down. 8 goes into 20 2 times. 2 times 8 is 16. We subtract. We can't take 6 from 0. 10 minus 6 is 4. We have another remainder. We're going to add another 0 and bring it down. 8 goes into 40 5 times. 5 times 8 is 40. We subtract and we get a 0. So we're done. So 5/8 is equal to 625 thousandths. 0.625 is equal to 5/8. Okay, and I showed you this one as well, the one with the whole number. I told you there was two ways we can do this. We know that whole numbers always go in front of the decimal. We could take this whole number right now, and we know that it goes under the decimal, so we could put it in front of the decimal right now and just divide the fraction out. Okay. Or we can convert this to an improper fraction and divide out the whole thing. It's just one has an extra, well, 2 steps. In class, most of you said